Back, guys, to another ABL Sports video. Today, we are kind of recapping the first round of the NBA playoffs in this episode of Across the Association. Wild round. I feel like for the most part, we actually had pretty good predictions. Starting off, one that Finn and I both got exactly right, and we're gonna go in order of the last video. Thunder, Suns. We said Thunder. We both said the Thunder would sweep the Suns. They swept the Suns. Not much to say about this series, but you have a quick kind of note about this?
Honestly, I think the Suns actually put up a little bit of a better fight than I expected. I know it was still a sweep, but I feel like watching these games for a fair portion of the games, they would keep it competitive. But again, I think it's just a testament to how good OKC's team is and that they're kind of just able to steamroll any team that they face.
Yeah, no, I felt like so I'm just looking at the series right now. Game three and four, it was pretty competitive. Um, but yeah, I mean I think Devin Booker, I mean, I know he's a son. He says he's a son for life, but maybe
Yeah,
maybe something happens this offseason. But yeah, I mean
we'll see.
OKC.
We'll see.
But also with OKC, another thing that I want to mention, I know I mentioned this a lot for the NFL. They are getting like a week or 2 weeks off basically before the next round. And then they're gonna have the Lakers coming in who kind of don't get it, who's
Yeah,
gonna get about a week off. But yeah, that's just a factor that's gonna go to the next round. Um, next series,
not even a week. They'll get like 3 or 4 days off.
yeah. Next series we got Spurs Blazers. We both said the Spurs win it in five. They won it in five. Um, another honestly competitive 5 game series. I mean, we didn't expect much from the Blazers, but they won a game. They put up a fight. I believe they won game one.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
game two, I think.
game two. But yeah, no, I mean. Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
just the Spurs. That was yeah, not
Well, I
much.
thought it was really interesting because I was just gonna say, I mean, my biggest takeaway from this is I know we kind of talked about it in a separate video, but I think the series kind of just goes to show how big of a factor Wemby is for this team, and obviously, like he is their best player. That's kind of like a no duh sort of statement. But when we go back to these MVP talks later in the season or later, in the next month or few weeks or whatever, like this is a series we should remember because when Wemby was out, they didn't play their best basketball, and they even dropped a game. So I think that's my biggest takeaway from this series.
Yeah, no, I know I agree with that. And I mean next round Spurs Timberwolves. That's gonna be a great matchup. But going on,
Yeah, yeah,
speaking of the Timberwolves take down the Nuggets in 6 games, not even seven. So you had the Nuggets beating the Wolves in six. I had the Nuggets beating the Wolves in seven. We both said this would be probably the best series of the first round. Um, I
yeah,
mean, just a phenomenal series. I mean, I feel like, I mean, the Nuggets, there was no excuse, especially once Ant and Donovan DiVincenzo went down. There's no excuse to lose this, in my opinion.
yeah. Well, I think David Adelman, the Celtics, not Celtics, sorry, the Nuggets coach, is probably going to lose. It's inexcusable.
Yeah,
Have
I
the
mean,
MVP or what former obviously Nikola Jokic, one of the best players of this decade, and you somehow Anthony Edwards is out, Dante DiVincenzo is out, two of their starters are out, and one of them being like one of the best players in the league, and you still managed to blow the series to basically Mike Conley and Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels. Shout out
yeah.
Jaden McDaniels. Like
Oh, dude,
I
he's
know
he's
he talked a lot of
phenomenal.
shit in his post game interviews, but yeah, he was amazing the series. Like he was able to actually back up what he was saying and then drop like 30 points.
Yeah,
So
and then
good on him, and I was actually really happy to see that.
yeah, and then what's his name? Terrence sorry, Terrence Shannon. I mean, he's a great rookie as well. And yeah, I mean, I just kind of looked at this and I was like, listen, like factoring in Ant playing, I'm like, dude, this is gonna be a competitive series. And I did say if the Nuggets were gonna play anyone besides the Timberwolves in the first round, besides like maybe OKC, I said I think I would pick the Timberwolves to win. Like I was like, if they got the 4 or
Yeah.
5 seed, I would have picked them to win that first round matchup. But I mean, I mean, I'm like, I know the Timberwolves went up 3-1, and I know coming back from 3-1's hard, but you kind of saw once Ant goes down, DiVincenzo goes down, you're like, Nuggets, they got
Yeah.
Jokic, Murray, and this core that's been together for a while too. I might add. I'm like, yeah, the Nuggets are just gonna take this one over, and they're just gonna be going to the next round a little bit gassed. But I mean, credit to the Timberwolves. They had the home they game six, they took advantage of the home court. I mean, it was a great atmosphere too, in my opinion. Like probably the best this playoff
Yeah.
so far. But yeah, I mean. Just I'm more just really disappointed in the Nuggets.
Yeah, also I just kind of going back to the Timberwolves, like yes, I'm very disappointed in them. And I actually wonder what this team does come the offseason or maybe the offseason after because maybe give this for one more year and then you decide, okay, it actually hasn't worked. Because if you look at the Nuggets resume, or not resume, but I guess their kind of history in the playoffs this decade, like they, lost in 2020 in the conference finals, like got, like 4-1, almost, little gentleman sweep from the Lakers. 2021, I think they lost in the second or first round. 2022 lost in the second or first round. 23 championship, but then every other year it's kind of been like a first or second round um, kind of, I don't want to say collapse because they still won that ring in 2023, but they haven't been doing as well as they should. So I wonder if this is the inflection point where you kind of reevaluate your team and decide what to do going forward. And also, one last thing I want to say about this game. I also forgot to mention Ayo Dosunmu, who dropped 43 points. Good on him. This is something no one who would have even seen this coming. Again, kind of just a testament to how bad the Nuggets played, but really like way to show up as a six man and to
Oh
step
yeah.
up when Anthony Edwards is out. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And I don't think Anthony Edwards is going to come back anytime soon. I think the earliest he comes back is probably
No.
game 4 or 5 in the next series, and that's like if he's really on track. Um,
Hmm.
but I mean, I still think whatchamacallit, yeah, like, but I feel like the Timberwolves do this every year. They get everyone excited in the first round, and then they just lose either in the semis or the conference finals. But
Yeah,
I
true.
really just want to see them break through.
Yeah, same. I think this could be. Oh, this could have been that year if Ant played. Now,
Yeah,
if Ant plays in the series, which I don't think he will, but if he did, that would be a completely different story. And I think this is a series that the Spurs should take away, um, you know, fairly manageably. Like this is something when again, like Ant is out, DiVincenzo's out, you should be able to come in and kind of take this one away. But I don't know if they will because Minnesota's core is that good, which makes me even sadder that Anthony Edwards is out.
yeah. And in addition to that, too, in the West, if you're the Spurs and if you're the Thunder, these should be two quick series for you guys. Like if those two are
Yeah,
truly gonna win the championship, that has to be two, like no more than 5 games in either of those series, especially with Ann out. Moving
yeah,
on to the last series of the West, Rockets Lakers. Lakers win in 6. It got a little concerning at the end. We both had the Rockets beating the Lakers in 6, but we did both
yeah.
say the Rockets were the fakest team in the playoffs. But we just thought the Lakers just didn't have anything in the tank. But we were both wrong.
Yeah. Um, I mean, yes, the Rockets are a pretty
Yeah.
fake team, but I'm still with the Knicks fraud watch agenda, and I'm going to
Oh,
be
you
pushing it
definitely are
throughout the
now.
entire. Yeah, I definitely will now. We'll get to that a bit later. But yeah, I mean, the Rockets. It was. I think one thing we touched on last episode was this has been a frustrating team to watch ever since the KD files have come out because like they are a
Oh,
team that
wait.
on paper should be playing really well.
Quick question about KD.
Yeah.
He's gone this offseason, right?
I mean, I guess he has to be. I mean, but what? But okay, here's the thing. Katie can be like, oh yeah, this team sucks. Let me leave. But that's kind of. I think there's more to it than that. Like, if you look at this team, their young core players have like fundamental basketball issues. Like, not that he's their star player, but Reed Shepherd, like he was amazing during the regular season.
Even
But in the
Şengün didn't
playoffs,
do much in the series.
yeah, I mean, even Şengün, like that's like a cornerstone of your franchise at this
Yeah.
point. And he wasn't, and like he was getting, I'm not going to say locked up, but he was getting severely hindered by like DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes and even like LeBron when LeBron was on him. So that's really scary to me if I'm a Rockets, organization member. And then on top of that, I mean, going back to Reed Shepherd, I mean, that's your point guard and he's a small guard, which is fine, but he comes with small guard issues and he's a bit of a liability on defense. And I don't even know if he shot 35% on three this series. That to me is concerning. Jabari Smith Jr., I mean, Katie kind of said it all, so I'm not going to touch on it. But again, like these are all kind of things that you have to think about if you're the Rockets, and then you have to consider paying KD. So I don't know if it's going to be as one sided as people think it will in terms of KD leaving. Like I think this might be a good thing for the Rockets as well. Use that money elsewhere. Get some more good young players. Yeah, I don't. It'll be really interesting to see what they do. Actually,
Yeah. And can I add something about this series that I noticed? And I'm gonna make this note for a couple of series. The Rockets, they never had a first half lead. Like going into halftime, besides the games they won, they were never leading in this series. And in a normal NBA game, I don't know if it's the most important thing in the world, but in the playoffs, like let's be honest, all the field goal percentages go down a bit. You know, you're not making as many threes. Like, there's not a lot of games where both teams are scoring triple digits. It's a lot of, 92, 89 type of those games. And the Lakers having these, anywhere from 5 to 10 point leads at halftime, that's a big deal. Like, look, we
Yeah.
saw that with the Sixers last night, which we're gonna get to. I know you're very excited to get to it, but that's important. Like, if you have like a 7 point lead at halftime in the playoffs in the NBA, that's a big deal. And the Lakers
Yeah.
had that pretty much every game. And, you know, it kind of sucks because we sound like we're not surprised the Rockets lost, but I mean, I'm surprised in the fashion they did. If you would have told me
Yeah.
Lakers in seven, I would have been like, okay, or Lakers in six, I would have been like, okay, they probably got one in game one or two, and then Austin Reeves came back in game three, and then they just dominated. Because we did also say if the Rockets were playing any other team, they were gonna lose. But we said at the time they got a lucky draw. It turns out it wasn't a lucky draw, even though it probably would have been for any other team. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's just the Rockets, and I mean, I said it when KD got traded. I did not like KD to the Rockets. I don't think you mess with that young core. Look at the Spurs. They are not. They didn't get Giannis. They didn't get KD. They're not. They don't want to mess with their young core. They got De'Aaron Fox, but De'Aaron Fox is such a team player.
Yeah.
Like he just
And
kind
he's
of like.
also he sorry, you go.
And I was gonna say you don't have to give up a village for him. Like KD, I
Yeah.
know they didn't give up a village for KD, but I know they traded Jalen Green. But still, maybe he had a spot in the line. Like I wasn't a fan of
No,
it at the start.
Jalen Green definitely would have had a spot. Like
Yeah.
they traded him and Dylan Brooks, and him and Jalen Green and Dylan
And
Brooks have
Dylan
actually
Brooks
been
was
good this
big for the
year.
team. Dylan Brooks was the leader of the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, that just doesn't make sense. And looking back, I mean, KD is KD. Like I probably would have made the same move. I don't know if I would have given up Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, but like if I could have done, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't speak in ifs, but yeah, I think it's just going to be really interesting to see what they do because now they need kind of a leader like Dylan Brooks. That's actually a really good point, I think, Austin, because they didn't have that this off season, or sorry, this playoffs, and that's something you need desperately going into the playoffs. You need a leader.
Because if you look at KD's teams on like OKC, that was Russ's team. Like he was not the leader. Golden State, that's like Draymond, Steph, stuff like that. Even the Nets. I mean, Kyrie's a big voice. Um, and the Suns, they had like Booker and Chris Paul. So like, I mean, he's never really been a leader. But I do want to talk about the Lakers because they were the team that won the series. I did, I started thinking about this. LeBron, Austin Reeves, Rui, like that kind of core has been together for a couple years. Like they have a lot of games played together. And I do
Yeah,
think that is important for playoffs. It kind of reminds me of an NFL offensive line. Like sometimes an offensive line, it may not be the best individual players, but if they play a bunch of games together and they kind of know by like without looking like they could pass off a block to this guy, whatever, like it's a good offensive line. Um, and that's kind of like the Lakers. It's like this core has been together for so long, and they just kind of added Luca in. Like
yeah, that's
and
true.
so I just think the Lakers like and also LeBron, I mean he's getting a lot of credit and he should. I mean he's a great player. And also I do want to talk about the additions. DeAndre Ayton, I love that he's playing like a center. He's not trying to be selfish anymore. He's just like 10 points, 20 rebounds. That's what we need from you. And that's what he's doing. And
Yeah,
then I will say Marcus Smart too. I know he's not the guy getting talked about, but he's another, like I said, leader type guy, a guy LeBron respects. Like a guy that
he
you
was
can
huge this
throw in.
series too.
Yeah, a guy that you can throw into this to a young core and he can make them better. Like, and you kind of look, Boston struggled a bit, since trading Brown, which we're gonna get into or Smarts, but we're gonna get into Boston. But yeah, any final thoughts on the series?
No, I think we summed it up pretty clearly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So going to the East, we have Pistons Magic. The Pistons beat the Magic in seven. You gave the Magic no chance. You said the Pistons beat the Magic in five. I said this would be a competitive series. I said Pistons over Magic in six. Um, I mean, I'm gonna take a victory lap on this one. Um,
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
yeah, no, I mean, like like I said, like I kind of thought the Magic would be the Pistons of last year. Obviously, once the playoffs came, I kind of figured, yeah, they're not gonna win a series. But overall, if you're a Magic fan, you should be really happy. And I did get scared when they went down 3-1. I was like, dude, like, what's happening?
Yeah. I think you're right. I definitely underestimated the matchups in the series because I didn't think about, and I don't know how, because it's what their entire team is built around. I didn't think about how Paolo and Wendell Carter and how big this team is and how well they match up against the Pistons. Like this is actually kind of like, I'm not gonna say a nightmare because they won, but this is not a good matchup for the Pistons because um, it's probably just the worst one they could have gotten. And again, like this is the biggest team they could have played besides Cleveland, which who they might play next round. Like this, the game is still going on while we record this. But yeah, I think for the Pistons, like this is a really, if anything, this is a really good series for them to learn from. Like this is their first, kind of playoff series, um, like big playoff series, I guess, as a favorited team with Cade. So I think you could take a lot away from the series. Like you could take away the first thing, which is like don't underestimate your opponent ever,
Mm.
and the second thing being matchups are key, and we have to learn how to play against certain matchups because they've kind of just been steamrolling teams all season long, and I feel like they haven't really like felt the need to actually have to adjust to those teams. But now they do, and it's playoffs, and good on them for coming back 3-1. Like this should have been wraps in like 5 or 6, but I guess it's better late than never to win. And also just good job to the Magic, like good series from them.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, and I will say, funny enough, there weren't that many close games in this series.
Yeah,
Like the first couple games are close, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean,
it was just a weird one.
yeah, like I said, like, and now this goes to you. If the Magic were playing the Knicks, Magic win, right?
Mm, I don't know.
Okay,
I think the Knicks
we'll save
still
the Knicks
I
slander
think the
for
Knicks
about.
still win.
Mhm.
The Knicks did just beat a team by 100 million. So
Yeah.
like
Well, let's get
I
to
can't
that
give them too much
series.
hate.
Let's get to that series, and
Yeah.
that like our third series, we were like both completely right about. Knicks over Hawks in six, we both said it. Um, yeah, I mean, Knicks. In my opinion, the Knicks just got a lucky first round draw. That's all. That's all it is. I don't think much of them after this series.
I think more of them now that they beat the Hawks by 50 or 60, whatever it was. Like that's still the biggest win in playoff history, I think, or one up. But yeah, I think this is also probably the easiest team you could have played in the first round. That being said, they were still really hot going into the series. I think there was something like 20-5 going into this, or like 20-10, which is still pretty hot. But yeah, I mean, I don't think too much of them after kind of like what you said, but at the same time, like I was still really impressed that they could beat a team by that much in a game six on the road. By the way, like that was quite impressive to me. But some other games here, I'm like, you're letting like I think CJ McCollum's good, but you're letting him drop like 35. That's the equivalent of the Nuggets letting Ayo Dosunmu drop like 45 or 43 or whatever. Like
Yeah,
these do
like
not like you should be playing better defense than that.
I mean, like I said, I don't think highly of the Knicks. It's like what, like you let CJ McCollum and fucking Jonathan Kuminga take you to six. Like you're supposed to be a
True.
championship contender. That is theoretically. I know
Yeah.
you don't think they're a championship contender, but theoretically, the Knicks are supposed to be like if this was the Pistons, and I do believe if this was the Celtics, and if this was whatchamacallit, the Cavs, the Raptors, this would be wrapped up. This would have been wrapped up in like 4 or 5. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think we'll talk about the Knicks more later this video about doing our kind of second round predictions. Um, and then going to the next NBA series, the one that I have a feeling we're going to spend a bunch of time on, Celtics Sixers. Uh, you had so Sixers win in seven. You had no faith. You said the Celtics beat the Sixers in six. I said Celtics over Sixers in seven, but I did say I thought it'd be like a game seven blowout in favor of the Celtics. So I was like, it's like gets to seven, but not really competitive. Um, just I'm gonna give you the floor for a couple minutes.
I didn't have no faith. I had very little faith. I still had some faith. But yes, you're right in the sense that I really didn't think this would be possible. Like I didn't even know when Embiid was coming back. Like I thought the Celtics were really good. Like Tatum aside, whatever. Like this is just a really good team, and they always have been in the Embiid era. And I mean, I honestly like I should have more to say than I do. I'm just like the happiest person in the universe right now. Like I've been grinning ear to ear since this game happened. The Celtics have had the Sixers number for what, like 10 years now? Like ever
Yeah.
since I've been consistently watching basketball, I've been a consistent Sixers fan. I've always watched Boston just like curb stop us in the playoffs. And it's just like it's just been horrible to watch because you always know it's coming and then it happens and you still feel even worse. But I saw something completely different from this team this year. I saw Embiid show up when it mattered most. Like, really, I know it's a first round series, but this is a legacy game. If we're being real, he was 0-3 in game sevens coming into this. and then he dropped 35 points, like, or not
Yeah,
35,
and
maybe like
especially with
30,
Tatum
12, and
injured,
5 or whatever.
especially with Tatum injured, he had to win this. Like the Sixers had to win this game.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely did. And also just the amount of hustle in the series. I've never seen a Sixers team that has hustled this much since Jimmy Butler. And that wasn't even the team hustling. It was like Jimmy Butler hustling and Embiid hustling and
Yeah,
a bit of Ben Simmons hustling. This was the entire team coming together saying, "Hey, like we want this so bad." And also just like the fact that they came down 3-1. That's just the amount of resilience it takes to do that. Like I don't care if Tatum was injured. Like that means we still had to win a game without Embiid. So
yeah.
either way, I think this is just a really impressive series from the Sixers, and it makes me question what's going to happen in the rest of the playoffs. Like the
Well, my
Knicks, I don't think
championship
are
pick's
the. I
gone.
mean, we can get into predictions, but like the yeah, true. Well, that's another thing. Like, I haven't even talked about Boston because I've just been so focused on the Sixers. But like, this is a meltdown from Boston. Like, I don't care if Tatum's playing or not. Honestly, like, you have a good enough team and a good enough coach, and Jaylen Brown, who is an MVP candidate.
Yeah,
You should close this out. Like, this is
and
inexcusable if you're Boston.
question, like a deeper question on this level. Do you think the Celtics losing this series without Tatum in Game 7, that's going to be good for Tatum's legacy? Because, like, they lose the one game he didn't play in. Like, I feel like that's going to make him.
No, I don't think. I mean, they still lost games that he did play in, so
Yeah, I know, but like I'm saying, like
I don't.
I
I
see,
don't.
and let's say it's vice versa, and Tatum's in and Brown's out. I think the Celtics still lose, but like I don't know. I think it kind of proves to like Boston fans, hey, maybe Tatum's more valuable than you think. But I do want to shout out Tyrese Maxey and then VJ as well. Oh, VJ's a beast. Um, but
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean that like we both said, if the Sixers wanted to make this series competitive, they had to win one of the first 2 or 3 games without Embiid, and they did that. And they went on the road and did it. Like it's tough. And then you get Embiid back, um,
yeah.
and then you lose the first couple of games with him back. I believe, yeah. No, sorry, he wasn't in game 3. I believe game 4, that's when he came back. Um, but I will say, game 7, it was probably one of the best games I've ever seen Embiid play.
Yeah, it's probably the best game, all besides the 70 point. But this is
Yeah.
the most significant game in Embiid's career. Like this is the if the Sixers do, I'm not getting ahead of myself, but if the Sixers do go on to even make a Western Conference Finals or the championship or win a championship, this is the defining game in his playoff career.
Oh
Unless he
yeah.
does something similar in another game 7 or game 6, and he like closes out in the finals or something, or in the semis, whatever it may be. Like this is, I'm talking a lot about Embiid, but this is like I think Embiid has been the main story of this team for the last 10 years, and he deserves to be talked about and celebrated for this game. And
Yeah.
also, VJ and Maxi definitely deserve big shout outs. I mean, this is VJ Edgecombe coming in here and dropping like 20, 25 as a rookie on the road in Boston. That's like almost unheard of. Like,
Yeah.
or not unheard of, but it's rare. You don't see that a lot in players. And that gives me so much faith for this team's future as well. Like, just amazing game. Like, if you're a Sixers fan, how are you not insanely happy with this turnout
Yeah.
or
No,
with
and,
this
and I
outcome?
and no, and I agree with that too. I mean, I think all of Philadelphia should be pumped about this. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I will say Embiid in game 7, Vucevic out. He was like, "Wanna what? I'm not gonna do all this extra shit. I'm not gonna like shoot 3 pointers. I'm not gonna facilitate the offense." He just sat in the paint and he just put up buckets. And that like and listen, people are like, "Oh, well, he got fouled a lot too, so he got 9 free points from free throws." I don't really care about that. I think if you're shooting free throws, the other team wants you to be shooting free throws. Like there's a reason why. Um, but I think
well, I mean, if you're shooting free throws, then it also means the team just can't stop you. Like they couldn't stop
yeah.
Embiid, and especially with that clip of Jaylen Brown. I don't know if you or any of the
Oh
viewers
yeah, I
will
saw
know
that.
what I mean, but like where he's like swatting the ball, like must have swatted it like 5 times, and then Embiid just goes over him and draws a tough bucket. Like that summarizes what this game was to me. Like Embiid was in his form. Like this is how he should be playing, and he knows that, and he did it. So good on him. Kudos to him.
Yeah, and I will say with Embiid, it's kind of nice that he's directing this energy towards the other team and towards the fans instead of the refs. Similar how
Yeah,
Lucas started doing earlier
exactly.
this year too. Because I mean, if you're arguing with the refs, you're not really going to get anything out of that. But yeah, no, I will like
Yeah.
it's just a very good series for the Sixers. And yeah, I mean them versus the Knicks. We're going to talk about this in just a short minute. Um, but I mean, actually, let's just talk about it right now. So we're filming this in the middle of the Raptors Cavs game 7, and the Raptors are up by 9. So I feel like the Raptors are probably gonna walk away with this one, but I just think the Pistons win next round no matter who they play.
I just can't believe the Cavs. are blowing this. Like
Yeah.
I really thought getting Harden was a good move, but okay, I guess not. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. This game still is, two and a
Yeah.
half quarters, but
So,
yeah.
let's just start with Sixers Knicks next round. I'm gonna be honest, I'm leaning Philly.
I actually don't know who to lean, and I know I said Knicks fraud watch, but I really don't know how many games Embiid will be able to play. Um, that's going to be up. I mean, in the last game, he did kind of seem like he hurt his knee or something happened
Yeah.
with, of course, shout out Jaylen Brown just pushing off the entire series. Had to give one final amazing push off in the last few minutes and push Maxey into Embiid's knee. So good on you, Jaylen Brown. I hope you're thinking about that, even though you probably aren't. But I think Philly could take. I think this like goes to seven no matter what. Again, like if Embiid plays, this will go to seven.
Yeah.
I would say I mean, but like speaking of Philly's kryptonite, like the Knicks are out there too. They're second to Boston in terms of being the team that Philly can't beat. But I think Philly pretty much played this exact team like 2 or 3 years ago with a much shittier Philly team. And granted, Embiid was a better player, but this team, the Sixers have gotten significantly better. And that series went six. So I think I'm going to pick Philly in seven. But again, I think this is going to be really close. But we'll just have to see. I'll stand with Philly in seven.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning Philly in six. I
Yeah.
don't think it makes it to seven. I mean, I just like I said, I know the Knicks beat the Hawks by like 1,000 points, but the fact that that got to six, I know that Knicks Hawks is a little bit of a rivalry in the playoffs now, even though Trae Young isn't even on the Hawks
Yeah.
anymore. That's the best part. But yeah,
Makes no sense.
it's actually so funny. Like they still hate Trae Young, and he's like gone.
It's literally it's 5 years to go. So at some point, you need to let it go.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's just I'm leaning the Sixers. I just haven't been a fan of the Knicks all year, which is weird because statistically they're better than last year. But I just
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something's off about them, and I like the Sixers, and
Mikal
I
Bridges
like
is off.
yeah, and I like that's probably why that's my guy. But yeah, that's I probably like the Sixers and six.
Yeah.
I mean, if Embiid's playing, even if he's not playing, the Sixers have proven they can win a game without him. They can't win two, but
Yeah.
they can win a game without him. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I can honestly picture the Sixers kind of riding the high horse and winning game one, like in New York.
Yeah. That'd be tough though, going into New York and having to win that. Like that stadium's going to be loud, especially the only person they don't hate him more, but the second person they hate the most is Embiid. So besides Trae Young,
I feel like that's
so
every
that'll
back
be
east
really
city.
interesting to
So I
see.
feel like that's every
Well,
city
also
in the East.
think about Cat versus Embiid. Think about that,
I think
that
Embiid
little
dominates
fight
if
they
he's
had.
healthy.
You remember that fight though from like I know it's a while ago, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
I know.
matter, but
I
like
know what you're
7 years
talking. I
ago.
know what you're talking about. But
Yeah,
I think if Embiid's healthy, he dominates that. All right. Moving on.
yeah, Embiid's better.
I think the Pistons just beat whoever in the next round in 5 or 6 games. Um, in the West, I
I'm gonna
mean,
stop you there. I gotta stop you there because I think if the Cavs win the series, which I don't know if they will, I think they'd be a tough matchup for the Pistons
oh,
actually,
I
because
agree.
then they'd also have to go against Mobley and Jared Allen. Like I think the Pistons will win in 6 or 7, but I think it would still be a difficult matchup. If they play the Raptors, it'll be done in six max. So
Yeah. All right. The West. We'll start with like the big one, Thunder, Lakers. I'm gonna. It's good.
Thunder in like
This is
five.
gonna sound so bad, but this could be another sweep.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I
Yeah, I
hate
know.
saying
I
that the
hate to
Thunder are
say it,
sweeping. Like it annoys me so much. Yeah, but
but
it is
like,
what
yeah,
it
I mean
is.
the Lakers, they played the Thunder what 3 times this year and they like got crushed in all of them. Hold
Yeah.
let me look up right now. The stat. Um,
I mean, either way, even if whether the Thunder, I think Luca got injured versus Thunder or Austin Reeves, one of them. But I mean, regardless of who plays in the series, like it's gonna be. Unfortunately, I just don't think the Lakers have what it takes to stop Shea and just this like great team that the Thunder is put together.
yeah, but yeah, so I think that's gonna be over pretty fast. And then Spurs Wolves. That's gonna be a good one.
I think it'll be interesting, but I still think the Spurs take it in six, and I think it's not. I think it'll be competitive. Like it'll be like six really competitive games, but yeah, I still think the Spurs are gonna take it
Yeah,
pretty
I
easily.
think Spurs in 5 or Spurs in 7. Because if it goes to 6, I think the Wolves will win. Because the Wolves are so good at home in the playoffs. Um,
Yeah,
the past couple years, it just feels like they don't lose much at home. Um, but yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
think it'll be a good series. I think it'll be a decent series. I think it'll probably, I mean, if the Raptors play like Actually, yeah, if the Raptors end up playing the Pistons, I think it'll probably be then the Spurs series will be the second best series of the second round. Um,
Yeah.
but I I like the Spurs. I like you predicted we're gonna get a Spurs Thunder first round or conference finals, which will be a phenomenal series.
Yeah, a phenomenal series. Yeah, I think no matter what happens in either bracket at this point, like it's gonna be amazing. Like even if we got like Lakers Wolves, that would still be a really good series. Or if we got like we get Sixers Pistons, or we could get Knicks Pistons, like that would still be really good. Knicks Pistons would actually feed generations. Maybe even
Pistons
Sixers
would
Pistons, but Knicks
Pistons
Pistons
would
would
Pistons would kill them.
just yeah, they would, but like just think about all the chippiness and like that classic rivalry. Like it would be such an early 2000s like 90s sort of kind
Yeah,
of kind of
but
vibe, which
would
I
you
which I
say,
love, and that's
yeah,
how this
one
playoffs
last
been.
question. Would you say the East is the Pistons to lose now that Boston's out?
No, I wouldn't, because I think the Sixers would actually rival them really well. Like I don't like Jalen Duren. I think if he can get like if Wendell Carter Jr. can do that to Jalen Duren, like imagine what Embiid could do.
Fair
Like that
point.
is you should be terrified of that if you're the Pistons. But I think given the Sixers kind of like inconsistencies, especially in health, but also sometimes even in play, you should be able to. The Pistons should be able to take that. But also with the Knicks, like I mean, same thing. I mean, the Pistons really just a lot of my confidence has been has dissolved because of that series. So I don't know. I mean, like I don't think it's theirs to lose anymore. If you asked me a week ago, I would have said, yeah, it's the Pistons to lose. But no, I don't think so. I think the East is highly competitive.
That's kind of funny. We just reversed opinions like a week ago. I was like, oh, it's between the Detroit
Yeah.
and Boston. Now it's like I feel like Pistons, they got a clear shot at the finals. At least like OKC, like they'd have to go through the Spurs. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, true, true. I think there's so much parity this playoffs, and
Oh
one
yeah.
thing I was talking about before we started recording that I'd like to mention is that like just what a playoffs for the NBA. Like
Oh yeah.
this playoffs is like is single handedly bringing the NBA back, and it's kind of been happening all season and leading up to this because of the ratings and the competitiveness and the parity, but especially in this playoffs, like what I think it's like six of the series went to 6 games, and I think three or four of them went to seven. That hasn't happened I'm not going to say ever, but in a very long time. And I think this could be the playoffs that defines a new generation of basketball for a lot of viewers. Like this could be the start of that generation. And I think that's really exciting. Like I think if we're taking anything away from this first round, it should be that this is a really, really kind of exciting slash pivotal moment for the NBA. And I find that really fun to watch. So good on the NBA. You guys have done a great job this year.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. One last thing before we end the video. Give me your NBA champion right now.
Thunder, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but it's
Yeah,
the Thunder.
I think Thunder.
I think it's Thunder Spurs at this point.
Yeah.
I could see the Spurs getting some, like cheeky wins against the Thunder.
I think Thunder as well. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We're gonna be back in 2 weeks whenever the second round ends to recap the second round. Um and yeah, we gave you our second round predictions. And like I said, score of game seven of Raptors Cavaliers as of right now. It's about to be halftime. Raptors are up 7, so we're making these predictions assuming the Raptors beat the Cavs. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time.